right now. We're going to Florida to Alex Smith, and Alex, then we're going to shoot over to Baltimore to Eric Silverman.
My gosh, thank you so much. I know I'm in a right place where all these people are I'm connected to Rachel and stuff on LinkedIn, and Scott, you connect so many awesome people. Thank you, April. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jason. My hands are like hurting. I could listen to you all day. I want to like just ask, just to follow up on what we've been talking about of how you create like more meaningful experiences in person, like some stories on what you've seen actually done. Because as someone that I was hired during the pandemic remotely, I didn't meet my manager in person, my VP, any of my teammates in person. I didn't meet my first teammate in person for a year into working. So it felt weird just knowing people over Slack and Zoom. It's like you don't really get to know people like this, like all of you. I can't wait to hopefully meet all of you in person one day. So I'm curious, like when I went and actually met people in person, we had a kind of a company networking event. It was like a quarterly business review, and we did the same kind of, we go to a bar and happy hours and did stuff, and you meet in person. I was just like, there's got to be more to this. Like I was just craving more. Maybe like before I wasn't craving like vulnerable, maybe communication with my teammates as much. So my question is, what have you seen recently? Like if you could give some ideas on how you really, what you should be doing to be more creative and innovative, maybe vulnerable when you do actually come to in person. Because for me, I feel like it just is more impactful. It means more because of us being disconnected for so long. And that's for anybody, I guess, if you want to take it.
So, Alex, I want to make sure I understand your question. Are you talking from a leadership and company standpoint, or are you talking from the individual standpoint when they're coming together?
I think, yeah, from a company standpoint, like what can companies do in person? I don't know, creative ideas to really foster a more connected team and just more meaningful team than just kind of the
normal go to
happy hour
kind of thing. So one of the things that I've seen work really well, both pre-pandemic and also after the pandemic, as things have been loosened and things like that, are more fun type team building events, not quite the kitschy hokey ones, but for example, like if you have a small enough team or you have several teams, you can break up like an escape room, things where people can work together to do something fun and they end up achieving a goal, but they also learn things about the different folks that they're involved with that they might not learn in a normal workday environment. You might not know that so-and-so is amazing at breaking code or is fantastic at reading a clue and seeing the nuance of it, things like that open up other conversations afterwards. I think that doing a group activity, even if it is sports related or it is related to a game or things like that, before you then go do the happy hour at the bar or in lieu of it, allows people to discover things naturally about each other that open up new and different conversations, whether that's while they're together or when they're remote.
Thank you.
I would just add on to that a service project could be a great thing to do also. Going and doing like a Habitat for Humanity house, like doing something that's physical where you're working next to each other, but not staring each other in the eyes is a great way to have sort of side-by-side conversation that doesn't feel confrontational. And also what we learned from our study is that people so deeply want to be inspired by being part of a solution after they felt like they haven't been able to contribute in that way in the last couple of years.
I guess I'll add, I've always found that it's been successful when you take people off site. So you remove them from what they're comfortable with, remove them from the location that they're accustomed to, they're used to, take them somewhere different where they're a little bit uncomfortable, and then have somebody else come in and sort of with a different pair of eyes to set the stage for success and ask them different questions. For example, start out a lot of my executive coaching with large groups with, what's good in the hood? What's good in your neighborhood? Tell me something good, something positive that happened to you this last week. And people open up and they share experiences. One guy recently said that he performed a Heimlich maneuver on his best friend and saved his life. The other guy talks about how He had his daughter, helped his daughter break up with this boyfriend that he really didn't like. Another guy was excited that his daughter just got into the University of Miami. And these are things that you normally wouldn't talk about or have conversations about at the workplace. And so you get to be vulnerable, drop your guard, bond with people, learn that they're deeper than what you suspected, and you drop your own guard. And then when you do that, you actually bond with people. The other thing is, we talk about values. In the beginning of the conversation, I said, when you know who you are, you turn the volume up. So who are you? For us, we try to define that through our values, what we value in life. And when we can help others determine what that is, they get emotional about that, but they care about that. It means something to them, it means a lot to them. And when they can share that with other people, something that they're excited about, something they're passionate about, something that will inspire other people, you tend to bond because of that. So I think that's a great question, and it's incredibly important to nail that. It isn't the manner, the content of the communication, it's the manner in which you communicate, which is more important.
A super quick addition to that, having done, and this is facilitating it. Hey, Alex, glad that you're here. Something that I found really helpful. I was just with a group about a week and a half ago doing a half-day retreat with their team, and they'd done one of those outdoor excursions where it's like, rock walls and trust falls and all that kind of stuff, and they really enjoyed doing that and being outside. But what we did is we sort of complemented that because we brought them through a series of questions and conversations, kind of like we're doing here today, that people really want to feel seen, heard, known, and understood. And if we just know surface things about each other, it's really hard to get to that place. And so what I found is that when we invite people, and I always say, share to your comfort level, but I also tell them that relationships move at the speed of vulnerability. So the extent to which you're willing and open to be vulnerable with another person is going to dictate the extent to which you are going to advance that relationship in some way. And being vulnerable doesn't mean airing out your dirty laundry and telling your deepest, darkest secrets. It might mean like sharing a moment of laughter together, or it might mean saying, I don't know, or I need help. And so what we did is we invited them. There's a tool I love to use, and there's so many out there, StrengthsFinder, DISC. I love a tool called VIA Character Strengths, the VIA Institute on Character. And one of the things that we did is we invited them to complete this assessment. And then I had all of them, talk about their strengths with each other and talk about a time where they've seen a strength come up and talk about what happens when they're not feeling at their best and how could they draw on one of their strengths. And we aggregated all of them and saw that the company strengths really aligned with the individual strengths collectively aligned with the company values. And it gave the CEO just this sense of validation that, man, I've really built an awesome team because the strengths that my people are showing up with actually align with the values that we say are meaningful to us as an organization. So genuinely facilitating people through a series of meaningful conversations around purpose, around learnings, around insights, around getting through difficult things, about resilience, facilitating those conversations can be so powerful at fostering meaningful and lasting connection.
And you know what a shortcut for that is joining the Outlier project and coming to these events where Scott walks everyone through these incredible books with the authors and then talking about them together after. Just a suggestion.
Thank you for